Hi guys, it is ironic that the Tories are attacking the new Labour government over accusations of corruption and cronyism. Of course, Starmer's administration isn't exactly helping itself by giving passes to huge donors, but it does pale in comparison to what the Tories were up to during their 14 years in power. But while reasonable arguments and criticisms can be put forward, some Tories can't get over the fact that Boris Johnson resigned in disgrace over his lying and want to breathe life back into the ridiculous cake argument. Have a listen to this.
I think Labour are reaping what they've sown. And Peter's absolutely right. Nothing has been proven. Much of this may turn out to be innocent. These appointments may be above board. But unfortunately, as you said, Labour did spend the last 5 years going after the Tories, trying to catch ministers out for minor wrongdoings or mistakes or things that they thought would make good headlines. And I'm afraid the tide has now just turned back on them. And if we go back to the case of the cake in Downing Street, I mean, nothing more ridiculous has ever brought down a government. I mean, that was just absolutely absurd. The fact of Boris Johnson eating a piece of birthday cake was reported in the Times at the time. No eyebrows were raised, but Labour decided to raise it later to try and bring down successfully elected Prime Minister. So whether or not Starmer...
Does this individual have a functioning brain, or is she just pretending not to have a functioning brain? Boris Johnson was not brought down over eating a piece of cake. Boris Johnson was brought down over his lying. So at the time, he was telling the public, you need to follow the rules, you need to maintain social distancing, you must not have any gatherings. Boris Johnson telling people in a serious tone they needed to follow the rules, while at the same time, Boris Johnson was not following the rules. Now, when it was discovered that he was not following the rules, he lied about it. He lied about the parties. He lied about knowing about the parties. He lied about attending parties. He lied about the fact that there were parties, and he pretended that he didn't know there were parties. But he didn't just lie to the media, he lied to the public, and he lied to Parliament. That's the problem. Boris Johnson lied. Now, of course, it came as second nature to Boris Johnson to lie, but there were consequences. Ordinary people were following the rules. Ordinary people were maintaining social distancing. Ordinary people were not able to attend funerals, weddings, the birth of their children, while Boris Johnson and his cronies were partying, were breaking the rules, were getting wasted in number 10. Boris Johnson resigned over that, over the lying, telling people to follow the rules when he had no intention of doing it himself, and then lying about it. I really don't understand why this idea of cake has so much traction. These are lying Tories trying to use a trivial thing like cake as an excuse for Boris Johnson being brought down. They brought him down over eating a piece of cake. The people who push this argument know it's a lie. They know it's false. It has nothing to do with Boris Johnson being brought down. He was brought down because of his lying. Now, she also mentioned, well, we did a few things and Labour latched on to them. A few things. There were companies set up by friends of the Conservative Party, donors to the Conservative Party, who won contracts for hundreds of millions of pounds to produce PPE that is now being burnt. Have any of these people been arrested? Have any of the Tories who gave these people access to these contracts been arrested or punished in any way? No. While Labour is not helping itself by giving passes to donors, by giving preferential treatment to donors, this is not good. This is, and it can be described as cronyism, but it's nothing compared to what the Tories were doing. And to suggest that Boris Johnson was brought down by cake shows that you either don't have a functioning brain or you're pretending not to. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.